Government has often been criticized for its response to gender-based violence and femicide. Cases of rape and sexual assault are increasing. Offenders are released on bail or parole and commit the same crimes again, leaving victims more traumatized. Organizations in Cape Town are stepping in to help fight the scourge of gender-based violence and help victims deal with the trauma. ENCA's Nobesuthu Hejana is with one of those organizations. She joins us now for an update. This is a conversation that is happening at the moment at the Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Summit in Midrand, Nobesuthu, but it's the lived reality of many organizations and communities, including where you are.
Certainly, Tulas, and the lack of prosecution is one of the things that angers most of these organizations, as they're saying that the government is not doing enough. But I'm joined by Zinhle Kobeni from the Greater People of South Africa. It's an NPO in Cape Town that assists victims with paralegal advice. They go into these areas, they offer some advice and try to assist them with little assistance from those authorities. So I'm just going to talk to Zinhle just to find out, I mean, you've been monitoring the summit and you're not very happy with what you're seeing. Just tell us why.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Sis Nobesuthu, and of course the viewers of ENCA. I'm not happy at all. Most of us are not happy at all, and I just want to quickly commend the few organizations that stood up against those corrupt politicians that were present yesterday, including President Ramaphosa and some of his ministers in his cabinet that were there yesterday. I'm so proud of them, and they must continue to do that. We must continue to speak out against these people. They cannot just come, and say all these fancy things to us after they have done absolutely nothing to protect the women and children in this country. So we are very much upset. I mean, it's upsetting that 4 years ago it took civil society and particularly women in this country, under the banner of, the total shutdown, to do something in order for the government to wake up and see that the women in this country, the children in this country are dying mercilessly at the hands of perpetrators whom the criminal justice system, continues to release on bail. I mean, why are rapists still getting bail? Why are people still being released on parole, repeat offenders who then come back into our communities and commit the same crimes? So we are very much upset. I mean, there's nothing to be happy about.
And we're seeing the latest crime stats or the sexual offenses, the increase of 13%. I mean, it might look like a small number, but for the people who are affected by this is not good, and your organizations are fighting such cases. So in terms of what you're seeing, what needs to be done?
What needs to be done is that we need a responsive government. It starts with government at the top. We need the responsive government, when I say Nobesuthu. We need police, visible police in our communities. This is what Abahlali are always complaining about on a daily basis. So if things are not working in government because the government is so focused on being corrupt, on, just being nonchalant about everything. So the visibility of our police in our communities is very, very, very much important. But then again, we go back to the issue of corruption. Our government is so corrupt. And maybe I should actually take this opportunity and encourage the people of Abahlali in their different communities. Guys, we need to take a stand and stand up against this government. And as we head to the 2024 local, or rather general elections, we definitely need to make sure that we remove them from power, because we cannot continue like this. This country will not survive again another 5 years under the leadership of the ANC government. They need to go, and they need to go now.
Sure. And lastly, I just want to find out from you, with the funding that was made available, would you say that it's been used effectively, especially with the work that you do in the communities?
Well, so I'll speak for our organization. We did receive some fund from the GBVF Response Fund, but it wasn't enough. It's not enough. We need more money to be able, because you see, the thing is, with our community-based organizations, we are every day in these communities with the people. We're responding to these cases of GBV on a daily basis. We need funds. We need more money to be put into these projects, to be put into these organizations, particularly community-based organizations. We are really struggling. Some of us have to spend money from our own pocket pockets to make sure that we're able to take, victims to the nearest police station, to be there with the victims at these police stations. After that, we need to take them through the court processes, which are very, very, very brutal. We need funding, and the funding must not come after 4 years, because remember, 4 years ago, the president promised, billions of rands that they will be, directed to organizations such as ourselves, but we haven't seen any of that, going into community-based organizations. So we definitely need funding, and a lot of it, billions and billions, and it must come to the organizations that are on the ground on a daily basis.
Thank you very much. Well, Tulas, that was Zinhle Khobeni from the Great People of South Africa talking about the funding that they need from the government, and saying that not a lot has been done to assist these community-based organizations that are actually doing the work, and those in the authorities, they need to relook at some of the structures on how they're actually monitoring, or rather doing their work when it comes to dealing with the issue of gender-based violence in the country.